We got another Patreon backer request here by Bobby. This movie's from 1971, a Stanley Kubrick classic, the movie A Clockwork Orange. And on this episode of Movie Breakdowns, I'm going ahead and review it. What's up, world? Welcome to the episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. And there's a review you want me to do, let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to as best I can. Also the Patreon/Ali Zakka for $2 a month. You can cut in front of everybody, get your review out waiting for it because I'm on Facebook and YouTube. And you get other stuff like trade reactions and much content ahead of time. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's review of 1971's A Clockwork Orange. And what is this movie about? This movie is about this guy named Alex who's a gang leader who pretty much thinks he's on top of the world, does whatever he wants. He gets caught up in some mess, goes to prison, and volunteers himself for an experiment to be reformed. And the experiment doesn't go the way he thinks it would go. That's pretty much the gist of A Clockwork Orange. If I have to tell somebody what it is, that's pretty much what it is. Now, this movie is a very visual movie. The things that I liked about this movie, and pretty much it's everything. I enjoyed this movie. I had a good time watching this movie. I thought it was very intriguing. And this movie is from the viewpoint of Alex, who is your protagonist in this movie, who is not a good person. Alex, at first you're thinking like, oh, he's just involved in a gang. He's the leader of this gang, and they're doing like they're kind of like. I looked at it at two different ways. Cause at first you have him beating up this old dude who's homeless, and he's like, I don't like the fact that this dude is shouting about the past and how the new generation is not good, whatever the case may be, and they beat this dude up. You're like, okay, these are not good people. But then the next scene, they save this girl from being raped by another gang and are taken advantage of. I don't think I can say that word on YouTube. Taken advantage of by another gang, and some WWE like stuff in here, like this dude drop kicks somebody through a table, and I was like, what is this, WWE? But you have this scene and then you're like, okay, so maybe they're not bad people, but then the next scene after that, they take advantage of a woman and beat this man down, and you're like, oh, they're not good people. This whole group of gangs are not good people. And then Alex even betrays his own, or not even betray, but attacks his own crewmates to pretty much be like, hey, I'm the one in charge, you guys follow my lead. Any rebuttal not happening here. And so you have that beginning part of the story where you see Alex kind of descent into his downfall. His hubris is his downfall in this movie. He believes that he's on top of the world, he can do whatever he wants, he can talk to whoever he wants. When he goes to prison, he goes to this reform training, and this reform training uses Beethoven and shows him different clips of different things where if he tried to act violently to somebody or have a sense of trying to lust after a woman or take advantage of a woman, or he is listening to Beethoven, especially the Ninth Symphony, I believe it's Ode to Joy. If he hears that song or has those feelings, he feel like he gotta throw up. He just feels sick to his stomach. And matter of fact, Beethoven Ninth, he like wants to throw up. Like he's to the point where he has not just want to throw up, but wants to die. And I thought that was interesting. I actually like that, and I like the fact that the protagonist, who is pretty much the bad guy in this movie, is the one who you're like, oh, he's not getting he's not getting rewarded for his bad stuff. Cause usually you watch a movie where protagonists, they usually, who is a bad person, bad person at first, and then they get reformed and they're a good person at the end of the movie, and you're like, oh, they overcame this challenge, stuff like that. No, Alex didn't learn anything in this movie. He pretty much was like taking advantage of the system. Even in prison, he found a way to keep himself on top, and he was like, oh, I'm the best thing in the world. Even when he was in prison, he still feel like he didn't do anything wrong. Like, I was just living my life, I was doing what I did. He had no remorse whatsoever. So the second half of the movie, where he is going in this downward spiral after the reform experiment, which you can argue went the right way, like it did the right thing, but it took a toll on him where he was like, I want to kill myself, and he tries to off himself, as he called it in the movie, but it doesn't happen. Now, how did he get there? Well, because of karma, which I like the fact that's like theme of this movie, what comes around goes around. He finds himself at the doorstep of the man's place that he began the movie that he pretty much him and the gang beat down and handicapped him, and also took advantage of his wife. He finds himself back at the doorstep getting taken care of, and he starts singing the song "Singing in the Rain," which causes that old man Trigger to be like, that's the song the dude sang when him and his friends handicapped me and then did what they did with my wife. And he was like, I remember that tone. I remember that. Which is funny because Alex was singing at the beginning of the movie and he was singing it in the tub in two different spots. And it's the only time he sang the song. Any other time he did not sing Singing in the Rain. It was the only two times. And the old man's like, we got him. Okay. So he set him up, put the music on, and they set in this room, which I thought was a pretty cool shot. Like, I actually would have loved to put that on my like computer screen of the old dude looking up, smiling about the fact that he playing playing Beethoven, and the dude upstairs like just like want to just, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this. And then everybody else was kind of like sitting off, mind their own business, or just kind of like listen to the song. It was such a cool shot that I wish the movie would have ended there. It didn't, unfortunately, because you had Alex try to off himself, and then he wakes up in the hospital. Still not really understanding or comprehend what he did was really wrong. He felt like he did the right thing still. I felt like he was doing the right thing, living his life. Like he's still the hot shot. Even when they do the test to see if he was still having the effects of the experiment, he was like happy-go-lucky. Matter of fact, the end of the movie, the dude who put him through the experience kind of like explained to, hey, I want you to be somebody who show that the government's not bad, that we didn't do the wrong thing, that we're still working on this, that we'll be like the face of this. He's kind of making a deal with the guy, with Alex in the movie, and he's feeding Alex. Alex is like, because Alex can't eat, like he's jumped up the window, so he pretty much hurt himself to the point where he can't broke bones like that, can't move, so he need to be fed. And he's just like smiling and everything, like, and I'm just like, this man does not care. Like, no matter what's happened to this dude, he gets beat up by his former friends. He gets put into a room. Like, all the stuff he's done to this point in this movie, has not realized his lesson. He is pretty much going through life ignoring everything he's done. Like, this dude did some bad stuff, and he was just like, oh, by the way, how he got to prison? He killed a lady. Like, and the dude was like, oh yeah, I did a timely death, or he said something where like a lady accidentally died in my presence, something like that. Wow, that's how I got put in prison. Like, he didn't even care about it. And I'm like, that's so messed up. And at the end of the movie, he thought he was cured, and they played Beethoven again, and they had flashbacks to his time during the experiments, and he was like, I thought I was cured, but I wasn't. And I'm like, yeah, you deserve it, you prick. Like I did not like Alex at all this movie. I'm glad that the movie portrayed where you do not get behind Alex. You see that he put everybody else through grief, and this is like his journey, his odyssey of just going back through the cycle of karma over and over and over and over again. Like, no, the dude's not a good guy at all. And I really would have wished I really wish Stanley Kubrick ended the movie with him in that room just listening to Beethoven and the old man downstairs was like, I wish it had kept the window locked so he couldn't get out, and that would be his prison. Like, that room would have been his prison. That would have been phenomenal. I actually would have enjoyed that a lot more if that movie ended like that, with them phasing out and them just up there smiling. Like, the old man's getting revenge, I guess, which is not a good thing either, because that has consumed the old guy about like who did it to his wife, and he finally got the chance to get his revenge, which vengeance and revenge is not a good thing either. But that moment there, I feel like it would have been justice for the old man, which he got his justice, but it was short-lived because Alex tried to escape. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I enjoyed the movie. The visuals, I enjoyed it. The one thing I didn't like, to me, is just the overshowing of boobs. Like, to me, seeing the woman's breasts for the beginning scene, or I guess the first scene where she's about to get taken, the woman about to get taken advantage of, like, okay, we get it. And then they stop that, and then you see it again for, it's another scene where you see it for like it's there, and you're like, okay, why is it necessary? The sex scene makes sense, like the three-way he has, Alex have, that makes sense, okay. And I actually liked how they sped it up. Like, that was kind of interesting camera work where they sped it up and everything. You're like, oh, okay, well, we have to go through the whole thing. You just show like them flashing back and forth and him grabbing each girl and then getting up and then go back and stuff like that. Thought it was unique, well twisted. Like, this dude is some dude who doesn't care and just gonna have fun. But the scene for the experiments, for the lady in the experiment story and the guy having sex with her, the ending scene, the nurse. Why the nurse? Why did I see her boobs out? Like, I didn't think it was necessary. Like, I didn't see many men's penis in this movie. I just seen women's chest. I was like, I get it. Kubrick loves to see boobs, but in a movie, I feel like there's times to show it and there's times to not show it. And I feel like there's certain scenes where just unnecessary. Like, the nurse scene was unnecessary. I'm the same way with fan service and anime. I don't need to see a girl in a shower unless it's pertinent to the story. If it's not pertinent to the story, why do I need to see her in the shower? What reason for me to see that? Like, what reason do I need to see her in the beach or in a hot tub or a hot bath? Not hot bath. What am I looking for? A spa. I don't need that. Like, there's times where it's necessary and there's times where it wasn't necessary. So that's a nitpick of me for this movie. I just feel like the overshowing of boobs was unnecessary. I get it as an art, like the lady who room was like different paintings, stuff like that. That's fine with me. And then she had the dick statue, fine with me. But I'm about to get demonetized for this episode. Why don't you get monetization off of it? But anyway, I'm using a lot of like words as like, yeah, probably. Well, this one ain't ready for kids anyway. But I'm just saying, like, I thought it was unnecessary in this movie. Just feel like when it comes to showing women's bosoms, it seemed unnecessary. Seemed like too much. I get, certain scenes, get it, but then it just seems like literally the nurse scene just was like, all right, dude, I get it. And then the ending scene of the movie, I was like, I get it. The one scene where the experimentation to see like if he was going to try to reach up and grab the girl and he started choking out, I was like, that makes sense. Like, she came on. Beautiful lady walked up to him and he's like, oh my gosh, must touch. And he's like, oh God, I can't touch. And everybody's like, oh, bravo, bravo. And then like kind of does a bow. Like, I was like, that's interesting. That's unique. Props to that. Okay, let's go and talk about the cast and characters and directors. So this movie came out in 1971. It's 2 hours and 16 minutes long. It's directed by Stanley Kubrick. It was written by Stanley Kubrick and it's also based off a book by Anthony Burgess. In the box office, I don't think this is accurate because it doesn't seem like, it's like they would have made more money off of this movie. So the time is probably not based off of inflation, this is off of IMDb. But the budget for this movie is $2,200,000 and the gross worldwide $26,900,000 plus. So it made its money back. It did a lot more according to IMDb. The cast, really the one person in this movie that really stands out and really the one that you really follow. Everybody else kind of shows up here and there and there's bits and pieces, but they're not really like the movie goes, it follows Alex's timeline, so everybody who's there to come in and out, they're not like they're throughout the whole movie. Like, it's not two people going through this journey with Alex, it's just one person, that's Alex himself, while everybody else is kind of like sprinkled in for certain sections of his life. And Alex, who played by Malcolm McDowell, thought he did a phenomenal job. He did a good job being like this, when he's younger, this dude who just lose confidence and just literally like confidence and arrogance, and he just just pretty much the picture of it. Like, you look in the dictionary and say, what's confidence, arrogance? It's definitely Malcolm McDowell's Alex. Like, that dude thought he was the S-H-I-T, and the sun shines wherever he walks. Because he wore shades on the inside, it's always shining. That's how he felt. And the world around it was like, nah, bro, you know, you still don't think like that. Sit down a little. And the movie karma come back and get him, but it's funny because like, dude doesn't understand karma. Like, he doesn't understand, like, maybe he did wrong and probably should repent, or not repent, but like change his ways. Nah, this man was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And the only time he couldn't do it is because he couldn't fight back. Literally, because he was the experiments on him was made him sick, where if he wanted to try to punch somebody, he started to get sick. But if he could, he would have knocked out people, which is crazy. But yeah, that's like, the rest of the cast is good, but it's a lot of people who were there for certain parts of his life. Kind of like Forrest Gump, where like, when the movie Forrest Gump is Tom Hanks' movie and everybody else is kind of sprinkled in. You can make a case for Jenny, you can make a case for Lieutenant Dan, but like, they are there in certain sections of the movie. They're not there throughout the whole movie. And the same thing with Clockwork Orange. This movie is pretty much Alex's movie, Malcolm McDowell's movie. Any other thoughts? Not really. The music is classical music. I like Beethoven, so it was great to hear that the music's played in this movie a lot. But like, the rest of the movie score, I don't remember much of it. Anything else? Camera work. I didn't do enough research on this movie to know like some of the scenes in this movie was done. No, this is the first time these scenes was done in this movie. So I don't know if I can really say like the camera work scene anything really different to me. I do like how Kubrick used a different style and different scenes and different, you know, like for example the threesome scene where he's like speeding up everything really quick, or the towards the end of the scene where the old man gets his revenge and they show them all in this room and they all kind of looking up or doing their own thing while the Beethoven playing in the background. I thought that was kind of neat. The scene where they put the things on Alex's face, make him like watch the movies and couldn't turn away, and the dude's added eye drops. That was an interesting scene, but I didn't think it was like anything like, oh my gosh, amazing. It was just like, yeah, man, you're being forced to watch this. Kind of reminded me of Robot Chicken, which Robot Chicken probably got that from this movie. Okay. Any other thoughts? Nah, that's wraps us up. Is this a Friday night movie? Part of me wants to say yes. Like, part of me wants to say like, this would be a movie people can watch and be like intrigued into it and figure out like what's going on. Part of me was like, nah, you don't have to watch on a Friday night, Saturday night maybe, but Friday night, like with everybody getting together, getting popcorn, I don't know. It's rated X on IMDb, which means, to me, it's like rated R. I consider the movie a rated R movie. So it's definitely not a family movie for the kids, but I would say go ahead and watch it on Friday night. I think it'd be interesting to watch everybody together and see how people react to this movie. And grading time. I'm going to grade A Clockwork Orange from 1971 a solid B. This movie gets a B for me. I enjoyed this movie. I had a good time watching it. It was interesting. I actually like how the storyline goes. Story for this movie for me drove me, really did. I felt like the acting movie was solid. It's a B movie for me. Like, I'm not sure if I seen this movie in 1971 where I'd be like praising it. I don't think I would. And then would I ever like go back and watch it again? I might. But would I ever finish it all the way through next time? I don't know. To me, I enjoyed the story, but it wasn't a movie that I was like super intrigued in 100%. I was intrigued, but I wasn't like gun-ho, like yes. And then at the end of the movie, I didn't feel like I was like, yeah, this is the ending. To me, it was just like, interesting. Nice. Good movie. It's a B for me. A Clockwork Orange, you get a B for me. If you've seen Clockwork Orange, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Also, I'm curious what people grade would be for this movie. What are your grade? Because IMDb gave this movie a 8.3 out of 10, which that to me is an 80%, a B minus. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 87%, so that's a B plus. And then Metacritic gave it a 77%, which is a C plus. But I give it an 85%, which is a B for me. So if you see this movie, what do you think? What are your grades? Out of curiosity, what do you think? Other than that, thank you guys for watching this episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if there's a review you want me to watch. or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode movie breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all and keep being awesome.